Hi everybody, Sean Fury here at the Life Management Training Center in Waterville, Maine. I got a question for you. Do you realize that you are creating your life? Do you realize that everything that's happening around you and inside of you is directly related to what you're doing about it? Do you realize that that makes you a creator of experiences? Right? So often it's easy for us to imagine a higher power or somebody else having power, and they're the ones that are shaping the way things go. But in fact, while those things might also be true, it still remains true that you are creating your life, whether you realize it or not, for good or for bad. Every time that you intentionally act, you're changing things. And every time that you unintentionally act without looking or without trying to hear or, right, without trying to do it on purpose, you're still changing things. And furthermore, you might be changing things destructively in a way that is taking you away from life and aliveness, from well-being and flourishing, right, which is ultimately the goal of all life on planet Earth, is it not? To reach your full potential, to be happy, to connect with others, right? Now, how is this coming to be, right? Here's the key thing. Experiences, which we all have, it's what connects all of us, really, is experience. It's the one thing we're going to have no matter whether we're rich or poor or black or white or male or female or any other type of, characteristic of our personality or our self. The one thing we all have in common is experience. And so here's the thing. Experiences don't just happen. They're constructed by change agents, by people who change them, and by people who keep them the same, right? You ever been driving a car and it starts to drift off towards the line, you're heading towards the side of the road and you don't want to crash, and then you yank the wheel back? Well, that was an act of a change agent. You were heading in one direction and you got back on track. Ever seen somebody who was about to approach success and they were so scared that they jerked the wheel away from it and they self-sabotaged? That's another act of a change agent, right? You were born with power. That makes you a change agent in your own life and in the lives of others. So there's no more of this saying to yourself and others that it just happened to me. I spent 30 years letting someone else run my life because I was afraid of them, because I don't like conflict, or maybe I have a boss or a coworker that treats me poorly and I don't speak up because I don't want to lose my job, right? I don't mean anything mean by telling you this, but this is the problem that is perpetuating your suffering, right? We need to learn several skills. I call them life management skills. And those include, maybe for you, learning that it's okay to tell someone, no, stop. You're not going to threaten and intimidate me any longer. And that's going to require you to have the confidence that you're going to need and the skills you'll need to be able to pull that off, right? Because you need to go in there confident when you're going to confront somebody and set a limit with them. You need to have assertiveness skills. You need to have stress management skills. You need to have a sense of self-efficacy, the feeling that you can rise to the occasion. Additionally, if you're the person who's been hurting someone else in the past, maybe you've been arrested for violence, maybe you have been in jail for doing things that are against the law, well, what we want to help you with is to develop an understanding that you are going to make it further in the long run if and when you learn and start to apply that learning. That learning is to respect the boundaries of others, especially around personal autonomy, right? That everybody is separate and we're all connected because we choose to relate with one another. So you can't have a real relationship with someone if you're trying to dominate them, if you're trying to control them, if you're trying to get them to do your bidding. So you need to respect other people as separate entities, and you need to try to reach out to them, right? And when someone tries to cross your boundary, you're going to set a limit. Third and fourth, you need to learn how to build the kind of life that you want to live. And then finally, you need to learn how to manage it for a positive outcome. I can teach you how to manage any situation in a way that will keep you on track towards well-being and flourishing, right? So join us today, become a member of the Hero Support Network, and for $10 a month, if you are lacking a lot of resources, you can get in for just $10 a month. If you want to pay a little bit more, or you can afford to pay more, then you can get one-on-one coaching for up to $20 an hour, right? That's dirt cheap. And here's the thing though, it's high quality. I have spent 6 years of my time in my life, in my blood, sweat, and tears, to put a program together that can provide you with a second chance at life and aliveness. If, like me, you grew up in a family that might have meant well, but maybe you experienced abuse or neglect, maybe your parents were alcoholic or addicted, or controlling, or like really super religious, right? You might have grown up not knowing that it's okay to have a confrontation every once in a while with somebody, especially if they're hurting you, right? Maybe you grew up thinking it's okay for people to mistreat you. Guess what? You're not going to get to life and aliveness letting other people hurt you and still say they love you, right? If people are hurting you, there's only one way to get that problem solved, and that's to confront them. And if they don't want to get better, they need to leave, right? You need to get away from that person. What's the one enemy of a tree is a chainsaw, right? Trees don't like to get cut down if they were, sentient beings, right? If trees could tell you what they don't like, it's probably getting cut down. I don't like getting cut down. I'm sure you don't. What's the next worst enemy of a tree? The lumberjack, the guy who takes that axe in, takes that chainsaw in, and cuts a tree down, right? These are the types of problems that change agents can run into. Being someone that allows others to use you to hurt others, right? To facilitate destruction in people's lives. And usually because you're afraid to confront them, right? Otherwise you wouldn't want to hurt somebody. But you're just so afraid of confronting people that you let it happen. So these are all types of life management styles. And when you join the Hero Support Network, what you're going to be doing is learning how to engineer happiness, how to create happiness through creating the kind of circumstances that can help that to arise. Just like putting Miracle-Gro in the soil allows a seed to open up and grow a fertile, nutrient-rich crop, right? So fertile ground, nutrient-rich crop, that's what we would like for your life to be, right? Nutrient-rich. And that means putting in the effort to create fertility so that things can grow and reach their full potential. If you want to do that, if you want to learn how to do that, we can help you to do it. Get a map, get the tools, get a guide, and get a group of people that want to go there with you, who can help you to stay on track when you get tired and weary from the battle. Because it is a battle. Don't let me fool you. Anyone who's done any type of real change making in their life, at home or at work, has encountered severe resistance. And you're going to want to give up. You're going to want to act out. You're going to want to just, let people overtake you, because you're going to be getting punished or, treated inappropriately for your attempt to create positive change. And you have to be willing to override that urge to run away and to be able to tolerate that discomfort in the moment temporarily without acting out, without giving up and giving in, so that you can complete that transformation process. Just like a caterpillar becomes a butterfly, what you don't see happening inside that cocoon is, I'm sure it probably hurts, moving from one phase to another, right? Because you got to get through all those barriers that have been keeping you stuck in maladaptive patterns. If this is something that you're interested in doing, then join the Hero Support Network. HERO stands for Happiness Engineering and Resiliency Optimization. That's what heroes do, right? They act in ways that remove the bad guys. They remove the threats to the life success system, right? And they also create opportunities for good things to happen. So if you want to take personal responsibility for creating the kind of life that you dream of, and you're willing to recognize and confront and neutralize those problems in your life that are now preventing you from achieving that, well then this is a place for you. And like I said, I've spent 6 years learning how to, bring this all down into a cohesive system, which I call the STARS Life Navigation System. That stands for Situational Transformation and Resiliency Skills. So if that's something you're interested in, stop on by, sign up. It's only $10 a month. We'd love to have you. Thanks.